Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Sunday to you. We're taking a look here quickly at CRV, basically Curve DAO, seeing what's going on here with this coin. I got a request from my community member. Let me just quickly double check here. I think it was Sunny123. Thank you very much for the request. Greatly appreciate that. Definitely happy to help out here. And also, thanks again for the help too. What was it? Jules told us about a really nice little short here for KYC. Good short potential there. Majority of our community members took profit there. So awesome stuff. Keep up the good work. Thanks again so much for that little heads up there. Do appreciate that. Also, well done everyone else. Also, for those of my premium members here, we took some nice profits from Terra Classic and PHB, which is Phoenix, I believe it is. Both, one was a long, one was a short. Okay. So anyways, what we want to look at next here is some important stuff. This is actually really cool. I'm really happy to review this coin here because there's some awesome stuff brewing here. So first of all, we got this nice little Elliott Wave pattern, right? So probability of the price pulling back here to these new Fibonacci retracement levels. So we'll talk about that here in a moment, but I want to bring to your attention the larger time frame scenario that we have going on here, not with Elliott Wave, but more so with these this massive double bottom. Okay, so just something to pay attention to right now. Again, double bottoms are pretty strong on larger time frames, and this being a very large time frame, look at this. Last time we hit this low point for this coin was roughly about, I'm going to round up and just say 40 cents. 40 cents was the last time we hit that. 40 cents was November 22nd of last year. It's almost somewhere in the range about 10 months ago, right? And since then, we just recently tapped as low as about 38 cents right there for a nice little double bottom. So that's pretty awesome. We also have this descending type of wedge, basically a falling wedge, telling us that we should have likelihood of a breakout to the upside in the relative near future. Now, when I say relative near future, I'm not talking about tomorrow. The price shouldn't shoot up to the moon tomorrow, but there's a good chance we'll see something along these lines here once we have enough consolidation at this level. And we'll talk about that too, because the volume is an important factor. So just wanted to kind of throw it out there and just let you know that this coin does look like it has tremendous potential for further upside from here. Can it pull back? Will it pull back? Strong likelihood of doing that first before it takes off. But what we want to look at is some support levels, right? So we take a look at this most recent support here, right? Roughly at about, 50 cents even. We can see not only 0.5 in Fibonacci retracement, and that's the level, but we've also got this strong resistance level previously. We could even pull that down a little bit and actually even just go with this 49-cent range there, because that's roughly another Fibonacci level, 0.618, kind of showing us we have a strong resistance here recently. The last 2 days, the price rejected out, and now we broke above, implying that there's a good chance the price, if it were to pull back, will bounce off one of these two levels. Okay, so if you've watched my videos at all, you'll know that 0.5 and 0.618 are my favorite Fibonacci retracement levels. Price pulls back to those areas a lot when we have these strong push-ups like we did, or obviously retracement as well. Okay, again, price usually pulls back to that natural halfway point from where it started. Okay, that's kind of the bottom line. Okay, so we'll just kind of go from here. I want to put this up at the 0.5 there just so we can kind of keep an eye on that. That would be a good entry for me, just generally looking at what I see here so far. We do want to look at a lot of other key factors, such as the moving averages. We're above the 50, and look at this interesting coincidence. The price section had difficulty crossing that level and broke through quite strong here today. So that does imply that that's going to be a new support level. So the price does pull back. 48 to 49, maybe 50 cents, that 48 to 50 cent range would be a strong tentative support level. Okay, I like to emphasize the word tentative too, because there's no guarantees the price is going to stay there and not drop any lower. A lot of times there are liquidity sweeps. We want to kind of take a look at that as well. But based on volume, let's see where we're at here. So we got a large amount of volume up to that 62-cent range, but let's zoom in a little bit and kind of see. Obviously, we have the second most amount of volume right there at about 44 cents. So the price does pull back. 44 cents should provide a support. I don't think we're going to see that kind of level just yet based on moving averages and the increased amount of volume in this coin right now. But generally speaking, we are looking at a strong likelihood of continuation, but a pullback initially would make sense to some of these lower levels. That said, though, we don't have a lot of volume at the current price point. In fact, we can take a look at some really larger time frame stuff here and see where the most volume is. Majority of the volume is above, right there at about 63, 64 cents. So if you're going to take a long up to that level, keep in mind that 64-cent range will probably provide a very strong resistance, okay, at least initially. Okay, we're going to need some volume to get into that, if you will. Okay, so that's kind of what we're looking at there in the overall sense of the daily. We can also recognize that we're coming closer to 70 in the RSI, potential for a pullback. That's likely why we rejected out 54 cents. And if we look at our MACD here, still converging. So again, a long seems very juicy right now, but I would recommend waiting for a pullback. I personally like to get the dip before the next leg up. And again, if you can kind of see here, we got this strong resistance level there, another resistance here, that's going to reaffirm itself as a support. So I'd be surprised if the price does pull back, that we don't get a bounce off that level. The only thing that would cause the price to go down much further from here, again, considering the fact that we did have a pretty large double bottom here recently, is the simple fact that Bitcoin sells off significantly. So if we see 25,000 range for Bitcoin, then there's a decent chance this coin could pull back. But with all this extra volume, it looks like it wants to stay. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this up here with just a quick little 4 hour and 1 hour. And something to note here, of course, is the standard cup and handle type of situation. Pretty large cup, but we can see that typical retracement there to that halfway point, and the price pulls back to leg up. So that's why we got our Fibonacci retracement levels there, right there at about 46 cents is the low and 54 cents is the high. I get the question a lot, how do I set my Fibonacci retracement levels? It's the most recent low to most recent high, or the inverse, most recent high to most recent low. Again, a lot of different ways you can do it. You can draw it out in larger time frames, but for this 4 hour time frame, that's where I kind of prefer to utilize it, because again, I'm more of a swing trader myself, and I like to look at these kind of levels. So let's talk about Elliott Wave. Let's see, we've had 3 higher highs and 2 higher lows. That does imply that we're going to see a lower low here, as well as potentially a lower high, and then another lower low to complete the pattern. Now, it doesn't always ABC out, but it's very common for it to do so once you have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So again, there's a good chance the price pulls back. So again, that's why I prefer to kind of take entry in this range here, so we can take some profits in this range. That way, if the price comes down, we can still consider having some decent entries there. Again, the strategy that we have is to use multiple entry targets on the way down, and then multiple profit targets on the way up. That's kind of how we sustain this environment, because again, if you're not taking profits, you're never truly profitable, right? You can't get super greedy and be a diamond hand holder, because you'll never sell and you'll never take profit, right? Anyways, conversation for another day, but what we're looking at here is 0.618, basically 49.6, 50.5, 50.5, and then 51.4. Those are the 3 levels here where the price may pull back to. It looks like it's wanting to do so already. And again, it's just overextended. We see we're up over 70 on the RSI, which is okay. Not great, but typically you want to consider taking profit when the price crosses that level. So if you are in the long, maybe consider leaving it open. It may not pull back that far, but better safe than sorry. Adjust your stop loss higher, take some profit while you still can, and ensure that you're always err on the side of caution. Because I got that question this morning in our community asking, hey, what kind of, what's the best strategy for taking profit? To me, it's taking over 50% of your position size in your first target. That way, if it pulls back and you adjust your stop loss to break even, you are leaving the trade in profit. Again, 65 to 80% is probably a good range for your first target, just as a good baseline. Again, different strategies, of course, based on leverage position size, but low leverage, low position size, please, just so you can survive some of these crazy environments. Key takeaway here is we are ascending positively. We kind of look at this here. We got this nice ascending trend, and it's looking pretty strong. So again, we're up over all 3 moving averages. That's a very good sign for the 4 hour. So in truth, you don't want to bet against this. So I would recommend not shorting, if you will. I'd much rather you consider taking a long at a lower price point. I know it seems crazy because it's going to pull back. Why not short all the way there? Well, I don't know. I'm a little more risk averse, and I don't really like to have to short unless I know it's going to pull back. Well, let's go ahead and see, though. Is this a possibility? TD sequential does tell us we should see a pullback here soon. We're at a 9 on TDS, and the price action is overextended. Previous time we hit the 9er, we went up a little bit, and then it eventually came back down to bleed out. So we're hoping that we can see a very similar pattern here, where the price action comes down to these lower Fibonacci retracement levels, and we can see that bounce off that halfway point, 0.5 or 0.6. Okay, so those are kind of things that I like to look for. Ultimately, we're looking pretty good here for CRV. Last thing to identify is Ichimoku Cloud. All 3 green lights here to leave your long position open, but that overextension and the fact that we are kind of, we're also extremely overbought on the 4 hour and reaching that overextended state on the daily. To me, I think that we're going to be in a position where a pullback makes sense. Again, if your situation is going to be different at all times, but consider taking some profit if you're in a long. I would say careful, hesitant on a short. It may not pull back, but if it does, once again, this level here, where the most recent high occurred, is a strong likelihood of the price gravitating towards that. Okay. Now, is it going to bounce off that level? As long as we continue to maintain the volume, then we'll be fine. If this volume can continue to sustain itself above the moving average, we're going to be in pretty good shape. Again, just little things to look for. All right, so all in all, I would say this coin has tremendous potential. I think that the massive double bottom we're seeing on the larger time frames is a really important factor to recognize. That we shouldn't go much lower than that. What was it, 44 cents, if I recall correctly? No, I'm sorry, I misspoke. I think it is 38. Just say a 38 to 40 cent range. That should be the absolute lowest point in which we'll see for this coin. Just know that Bitcoin selling off tomorrow, for example, if that were to happen, we will see a natural correction to this mid 40 cent range. So 45, 46 cents. Okay, cool. So that's kind of where we're at there. All in all, not terrible shape. This coin looks like it has tremendous potential, and I think that the probability of further upside is greater than downside at this point. Just bear in mind that this could very well pull back, and it should, to, I think, somewhere in the range of about 50 cents. That would be a pretty decent entry worth waiting for. Just my thoughts there, okay? I hope I'm wrong and the price keeps going up and you're totally profitable. But if it pulls back, I'm going to be ready to take an entry. In fact, I'm just going to set a quick little alert there at just say right about 51 cents, just to ensure I get notified and I can reevaluate. Again, I reevaluate when we hit that level. I don't just jump in blindly, okay? That's the key takeaway there. All right, so again, just depends on your trading strategy. I hope that you learned something here today. If you want to become a better trader, I did skip over this. We do have a trading academy, community, and signals group. Link down below for our discount there if you're curious about that. But the bottom line is you have access to a lot of our signals and, of course, a lot of benefits. I mean, it's really cool to be able to be part of this here and be able to share my trades with my community. Super happy about this Blue Zell trade here at about 163%. Keep in mind, these are low leverage, low position size. They're 5x leverage trades. You can do 10, 20x if you want, but they're designed to be sustainable and to ensure that you receive profit over the course of holding those coins. It takes a couple weeks sometimes to hit our targets. Other times it's quick and easy. That's the way it goes. All right, thanks again for joining me. CryptoCash.tech is a site once more, last but not least too. Jumping over to our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. All free, all down below. Have some fun. Looking forward to working with you. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.